Hello everybody and welcome back, or welcome to Fall Off Your Horse. This is my final video of the year and we will be ranking every single convention I attended in 2025. That was terrible. So as a content creator, a YouTuber and a cosplayer, I attend numerous conventions throughout the year. I attend ones in Manchester and Birmingham, occasionally a London one. Like next year I'm doing London MegaCon. I technically attended 6 conventions and I lobbyconned a 7th. And this is going to be my completely truthful and unbiased ranking of all of them. This is not just a review of the conventions themselves, it also includes things like how I felt in my costumes, which is my own fault, the hotel rooms, how much fun I had with my friends, you know, stupid stuff like that. So, without any further ado, the too famous phrase, let's jump right into it. Starting off was convention number 1, which was SecretCon, taking place in Magna Science Centre in Sheffield. I'm going to go out strongly on this first one and give it an F. I did not enjoy SecretCon. I did not enjoy the venue. The only thing I really enjoyed was the Airbnb with my friends, which is the only reason it gets an F and is mentioned in the video at all. I mean, I had a good time with my friends. I would give the time with my friends an S, but the experience I had at SecretCon itself is enough to drag it down to an F. Like, it doesn't even deserve a D. I had such a terrible time. It was a waste of money. I wish I hadn't gone. Genuinely, the only thing that was good about it was the Airbnb. We could have just rented an Airbnb and just hung out. Like, I had a very terrible time. So SecretCon is unlike any other convention because you just go as either a cosplayer or a photographer and they just rent out some random place that they feel like it. They usually do stuff like castles, and this one was in Magna Science Centre in Sheffield, and you cannot physically fathom how cold it was. I was frozen. Like, call me Walt Disney's head the way that I was frozen. I genuinely felt like I was in a fucking cryogenic chamber. It was unfathomable. I was cosplaying Sino from Genshin Impact on the Saturday, which could have been my mistake doing him in March in the first place. But I cosplayed him the year, I think, before in a very cold, windy, slightly rainy April, and I was fine. I was even running a little bit warm inside, in fact. But in Magna Science Centre, it was colder inside than it was outside, I swear. And then on the Sunday, I was supposed to cosplay Glamrock Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and I had so many layers on. So I had my outside clothes. I think I had my pajama top on underneath those. I had the clothes from my Glamrock Chica cosplay like underneath and on top of everything that I was already wearing. I was layered up. I also had a jacket. I hadn't brought a coat because it'd been really warm in Manchester. Because I can sometimes go without a coat in March, like I'm usually okay. So I had my hoodie on instead, and like I was just as cold as I was on Saturday. So it was not just what I was wearing on the Saturday that was the issue. And then because it's just cosplayers and photographers, if you're not taking photos, there's nothing to do. I took photos with a friend, and then I got some with another photographer, and I got those photos back, and his photography was fire. I love the quality of the shots. I love the colour in them. I just didn't really like how I looked. I'm not very confident on my Sino cosplay sometimes, so just the way that I was posed, I didn't really like those pictures. So it was just kind of annoying that the other pictures I got back were ones I didn't really like. And then after that, that was maybe an hour in, I took the photos with the other guy. So the rest of the time, I was trailing behind my friends, freezing my bollocks off. I went and bought a hot chocolate, which was quite expensive, so I couldn't just like buy them all day. And like, it did not help at all. I was so fucking cold. The locations also, like, the backdrops weren't really that good, and all the good locations were being camped by cosplayers. So you would have, there was one area, so Magna is split up into earth, water, fire and air. Oh my god, it's just like Avatar: The Last Airbender. So air was all the way at the top, and there was like this one wall and all the cosplayers were just hoarding it. There were 2 that were just making TikToks instead of realizing, oh, people want to take pictures here, let's move. Like, they were fucking rude. The only bit that I enjoyed hanging out in was fire, because there was one area, and I think like every 5 minutes this button would light up and you would smack that button like your life depended on it, because it would spit out, I don't know, some kind of liquid, flammable liquid, and then there would be this little spark going and about 5 fucking minutes later, it took forever, it'd set on fire and there'd be like this firenado, and I got a slight bit of warmth, and genuinely that was the only warmth I felt fucking all day, and it lasted for about 30 seconds, and then you had to wait like 5-10 minutes again for the button to light up so you could smack it again. And obviously we couldn't stay there all day, and it was crowded because like it wasn't just me that was cold, there were other people that were complaining about it. So yeah, SecretCon deserves an F. That's an F in BSO. The next convention was MegaCon Birmingham, and I gave MegaCon Birmingham a B, because I did have a really good time. It was the first time I started doing cosplay photography. Follow Fall Off Your Tog on Instagram. Oh my god, who said that? So I didn't have my hourly set up. I just said to people like, oh, if you see me, come find me. So people had like arranged to have a shoot with me, and then we never actually ran into each other. So I then had to try and DM them at the end and say, oh, I'm here. And then if they didn't turn up, they didn't turn up. A lot of them did turn up, and I did get some very nice shots. My editing has definitely improved since then, but I had a really good time, and it's definitely going to be one of those moments that I remember for years to come, because it was the first convention that I started doing photography at, and it was really nice, it was really fun, and it's in my favourite spot of the NEC. I can't wait to go back there for MegaCon this year, well, next year, coming 2026. Annoyingly, it's the only convention that really takes place down there, but I like the hall. I think it's a lot nicer. The sun comes in from outside. It's nowhere near the lake, and I do like the lake for shots. And there's a really long walk over there, which I did factor into giving it a B. Like, it's fucking effort getting over there. But, you know, again, the hall's really nice. I felt like the stalls were really good. I felt like the layout was really good. No real issues with staff from what I remember. I didn't have any issues with, you know, anybody. It was me, Iz and Ducky, and we had a really good time. I feel like we're a really solid trio. I love going to conventions with them. It was also where Iz filmed a lot of TikToks when they started doing TikTok, and they blew up from there because they've handmade their Zelda, and it's really beautiful. I could talk about Iz's handmade cosplays and Ducky's handmade props until the cows come home. I love my friends so much. However, I did give it a B because on Saturday I was cosplaying Rai Mamazuku from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure JoJolian, and I grabbed a shirt that was cropped, so that was uncomfortable, and then I grabbed the wrong binder, so that was uncomfortable. But I did get recognised, which was nice. It was really fun. I'm pretty sure I went to the JoJo meet. Yeah, I did go to the JoJo meet because I swapped my hat with a Gappy, I think, and I love going to JoJo Meet UK. It's always a really good time. I saw a lot of my friends there, and in a total contrast to SecretCon, our hotel room for MegaCon was so fucking hot. Oh my god, I was fucking burning. Like, so we were staying at the Easy Hotel near Birmingham New Street. The Manchester Easy Hotel I have no problems with. I think it's a really nice hotel. I think it's a really good location. I think it's a good distance. The Easy Hotel in Birmingham, I would never be staying at again. It was terrible. It was tiny. It was cramped. There was a leak in the shower, so our floor was wet. There was no room to get our suitcases through anywhere. Never mind, like, swing a cat. The room was too hot, so it was like 4 in the morning. I was wide awake, sweating my cock off, sharing a bed with Iz as well. Still did prefer it to SecretCon, but it was, yeah, we won't be staying there again. It was also really scary. We got harassed on the walk home. So we will not be returning to that hotel, and I would not recommend that you ever go to that hotel. So yes, MegaCon Birmingham gets a B. And then our next convention was AnimeCon, and this was their first 3-day event. And I don't really think that it should have been 3 days, because the past couple of conventions were only 2 days, and a lot more cons are leaning into doing 3 days. I think the conventions that I go to, the only ones that are still 2 days are, I think, MegaCon and RakuCon. So whenever I go to a 2-day convention, it feels like it goes way too fast, and I feel like I haven't done enough because I have everything spread out on 3 days over the 3-day cons, but then I get to Sunday on a 3-day con and I feel old, I feel tired, I feel like a pensioner, and I'm always so glad that I've booked the Monday off work as well, because I'm always just shattered and my feet hurt, and I feel like AnimeCon didn't offer enough to warrant being a 3-day convention. I do enjoy AnimeCon despite its many flaws, but it should have just stayed 2 days then. And yeah, this year had a lot of controversy. So the layout was really buns, like nobody knew where anything was. There were several vendors that I'm mutuals with and I never saw them, and I did several laps and I like hunted them down and I never saw them. There were times when people were saying, oh, meet me here, and then I couldn't fucking find where they were. They had these random like obelisks just in the middle of the hall, like between vendors, taking up space. So instead of the vendors being like row by row, there was like kind of like an L shape, and then people were in like squares in the middle with like this big fucking like tower thing in the middle. So a lot of memes came from the obelisk. That was pretty funny. And with the terrible layout, there was also very few places to sit. I don't think I actually saw any seating other than where the food area is. So I feel a bit weird sitting in the food areas when I'm not eating, because there will be people who are eating, and I'm a person where I can't really eat standing up or walking. So if I had bought something and I saw that the seats were being taken up by people who hadn't bought anything, I'd be a bit miffed. And then there was also seating near a D&D game. It sounded fun, but me and my friends we weren't really into that, so we didn't want to watch it. So we were sitting down, and I just felt a bit rude because I'm taking up, I mean, the show wasn't on. I wasn't like taking up space during the show, but it still felt a bit rude to sit there. But near the main stage, which was also terribly located, loads of vendors were saying that they had headaches, that they had like ringing in their ears, and just like the feedback, you know, when like someone's too close to the mic, that kind of thing. So that was like affecting the vendors, and then people didn't really want to shop down where that was going on. So if you wanted to watch the stage, you had to stand up. They weren't allowing anybody to sit down. Even if you were against the wall, like you weren't even watching the stage, you were just against the wall, you were told to stand up, which was ridiculous, because, you know, people have like hidden disabilities, or just people are fucking tired and they want to sit down because it's a 3-day convention. Like there were people with canes that were struggling to stand, and like because they weren't allowed to sit down. But there were things that I did really enjoy. They had like a card area, like a Pokemon card, a One Piece card area, and this was before I started collecting, but it was really fun to look, because I did used to collect Pokemon cards as a kid, and I'm recently into One Piece, so, you know, looking at those kind of cards was fun. My friend Ducky was looking for specific cards, so I got to flip through a lot of the binders and have a look at everything, and I think that is kind of where I sparked wanting to start collecting Pokemon cards again. And then the stage area, they had like not like a full cosplay masquerade, like there wasn't any winners, it was just like a walk on and a walk off, just kind of showing what you'd done. So my friend Ducky had entered as Jane with a Seth, and Iz had entered as Cole from Lego Ninjago. It's really funny because they added Everything Is Awesome from the Lego movie as the music for Iz, and it's a completely different franchise and a completely different vibe, so they were very miffed about that, but I thought it was very funny. My friends ate and they served and they were cool. Everybody else who did the walk on was really fun and cool. And again, in total contrast to MegaCon Birmingham, our hotel was fucking fire. So we stayed at, I think it was a travel lodge, so you just had to get a bus, and the room was huge. There was a desk, there was a cook chair, there was like a decent TV, there was a decent bathroom, 2 separate beds. The heating was not despicable despite being June. I also got to, you also open the fucking window. That's really rare in a hotel. That was nice. Oh my god, the open window, I miss it. But yeah, I did have a good time, but again, like the whole layout thing, and then not being able to sit down anywhere was quite a put off, and also the fact that it was 3 days and it definitely didn't feel like it should have been 3 days. I did give this one a C. Hello, this is Editor Villain. I somehow forgot to mention something that was also really bad about AnimeCon. So their scheduling was absolutely dog. There were a lot of people who had arranged stuff like RPDs, which is a random play dance for anybody who isn't, you know, into that kind of thing, and they weren't allowed to run it at certain times or in the correct places, because at conventions sometimes multiple people will run their own separate RPDs. So there might be a J-pop RPD, a K-pop RPD, a mixed K-pop J-pop RPD, or just 2 K-pop RPDs. And there was a group called Dear Alice who were attending AnimeCon, and AnimeCon had advertised them as hosting an RPD. Dear Alice did not know this and asked somebody if they could basically run their RPD. fucking cheek of it. So a lot of people got messed around with the scheduling. One of the RPDs ended up in the silent disco area, which isn't fun for anybody who isn't participating. There also weren't enough headphones for people who did want to participate. It just didn't really work out. And MegaCon Manchester was the next convention we attended. I love MegaCon Manchester. It has so many memories for me. Specifically, it was the first convention, the first place, the first time that I met my best friend Iz. We met over Discord. Ew! And it took years and years and years for us to get to a place where we were like, hey, we should probably meet up. And luckily, they weren't a 40-year-old man with a wife and kids who was grooming me online. They were who they said they were, and we had a really, really good time. And Manchester MegaCon just always, it has that sentimentality for me. And it was also where they met my friend Duki, and where they met Bailey, and just like, we're so close knit. I love my friends to pieces, guys. And this year was no different. I had a really, really nice time. I started really gaining confidence in my photography and like my editing skills and actually handing them back. I'm actually wearing a gift right now from I'm wearing a gift from two of the people I shot with actually. I have this villain bracelet because that's my name. And it's got the lesbian flag colours because that's who I am. And then I have this one that says Johnny, as in Johnny Joestar, because that's who I was cosplaying. I really like the layout of Manchester MegaCon. It's very easy to find things. There's like 2 separate rows and they're like numbered and stuff. The masquerade hall is in a completely different area. So anything going on the stage is not deafening the ears of any of the vendors. There's a lot of space for meets and stuff. Like, I just love Central. And speaking of the masquerade, is won the masquerade as Zelda, and they've given me permission to show that performance. So
category, so I am really glad to announce Iz as Zelda.
And I'm just so proud of them for winning. I cried my eyes out. And then when we met up with them again after the masquerade, I cried my eyes out. And they asked me to hold their certificate for them, and I cried again in public outside by the fountain. We got back to the hotel room and I cried a little bit more. Iz didn't cry once, by the way. I also matched cosplaying Pokemon with Duki, which was really, really nice. We weren't from the same game, but we were still from Pokemon because she was Iono and I was Bianca. And this was the first time that I cosplayed Bianca. Like, I hadn't even cos tested her at home. And I was a little bit, I wasn't sure. There was a hotel room, late night, wig style. It was a bit dire, but a few people recognized me and it was a really, really good feeling, and I fell in love with that cosplay. I would say that Bianca is one of my favorite cosplays that I've ever done, especially since I've restyled the wig. I felt a lot better cosplaying her at Hyper Japan. I do like repeating a lot of my cosplays at cons, but I don't like to do them back to back because, you know, my content is stale because I do TikTok and stuff. And like my Instagram photos, so I don't just want it to be all the same content. But I loved my Bianca so much that I cosplayed her to 3 conventions in a row, or 3 major conventions anyway. Oh my god, I haven't written notes about 2 of the cons I went to. Oh my gosh, no, I will have to do those on the spot in a minute. I'll do them both after this one. It was a little bit difficult trying to navigate the hall because both MegaCon is 2 days, as we established earlier. We had people entering the masquerade on Saturday and on Sunday, so it was a little difficult for us to all hang out and all look at the same stuff because, like, you can't get through. That is a thing with MegaCons, is just like, I mean, with conventions in general, but I feel like I noticed it more at Manchester MegaCon this year. It's very, very hard to look at popular stalls because like it's a busy convention, and even though the halls are the halls, like the walkway between the stalls, even though it is quite large, I still struggle to look at a lot of stuff because like people have no etiquette, or people are just standing about, or they're walking really slowly, or there's just no space because, you know, cosplays take up room. But when you've got people who are entering a masquerade and they don't want to, you know, destroy their cosplay, or they've got a big prop, it's a bit hard to look at everything. Like, I wanted to do the JoJo Stamp rally and I didn't have chance, and it's okay, but all in all, I did have a very, very good Manchester MegaCon, so I'm giving it an A. I don't know which way you do vowels. Maybe that. So yeah, we did attend this convention earlier, but we went to the Greater Manchester Anime Festival, which took place in Bolton, and they invited us as creator guests. So it's not like a major convention, it is just like a one-day thing run in a university, and Ducky did have to talk them into giving me a creator pass, so I'm not really counting it as my first, although I am grateful, obviously. Rico Fajardo came. He is the voice of Mirio from My Hero Academia. He's, oh my god, he's Mao Mao's dad in Apothecary Diaries, but I can't remember his name. He's Isagi in Blue Lock. Taiju from Dr. Stone. Like, he's like a living legend. I cannot believe I've seen him with my own two eyes. So he was doing meet and greets, and then he did a panel later on. I actually did a vlog for this, which you should go and watch. And they let us judge the masquerade, and that was a really, really fun experience. So there was a mix of bought and made, or like closet cosplays, so the range in that was really, really nice. But it was difficult kind of choosing between somebody who'd made a cosplay and somebody who had like a bought or altered or closet cosplay, who just embodied the energy so well. Like, I could never judge anything as important as like an MCM or MegaCon Masquerade or the Crown Championships. Oh my god, I could never ever judge the crowns. Like, I would love to, obviously, that opportunity would be insane, but just having to choose between builds that are just, oh my god, I don't understand how people do it. I cosplayed Glamrock Chica, and I did get noticed quite a bit, which is really, really nice. The stalls were really fun. They had like a lot of anime standees with backdrops that you could take pictures with. The location was also really, really good. I had a really, really nice time. I just forgot to write about it because it's not one of like the big convention names, so I didn't have them in my head. I was this Bolton one also kind of felt like it was last year. I don't know why. I had a really fantastic time. I would probably give it an S tier. I think I would give it this year's first S, because I felt comfortable in my cosplay. I had a really nice time. The vlog, you know, we had a lot of fun. I bought some nice stuff. I saw a really great idol performance. I judged a masquerade. Like, the experience was crazy. Like, I had a lot of fun, and it's crazy that like a con run by basically one guy is giving a better experience than like a MegaCon, an MCM, an AnimeCon. We also did Sheffield AnimeCon, run by, not like AnimeCon, and I also had a really good time at this. This was run by a guy who is friends with the Bolton guy. I can't remember any of their names. They went through my friend Ducky, and me, Iz and Ducky all went, and there were also guests again, and there was another guest who I don't think I actually caught their name. Oh my gosh, I feel really bad. I do remember you, I promise. They let us host a masquerade again, and we did a Q&A panel, and that was really, really fun, like being asked questions. Well, I mean, that's how Q&A works. You're asked questions and you answer them, but like I felt a little bit important. You know, being a cosplay guest, it was really, really fun. And they had like local artists. There was like I can't remember how many stalls there were, but it wasn't like a huge amount. But there was a couple of like Pokemon themed ones, and I'm not sure where they've gone. They'll be in my house somewhere. But they had like hand painted Pokemon cards. They were really, really cute, and then like little Ditto kind of stickers. And oh, one was from my friend Bailey, and I haven't actually given them to them. Oops. The location was also really, really great. I filmed some really good TikToks. I had a really nice donut. Had some photos taken. They had some like anime cars outside, and I love the anime girl cars so much. It's just a car, and it's got like a wrap on it, and then they put some like plushies on the inside, but they're really, really cool. I think they're really cute. Hyper Japan also had them, so that'll be my Hyper Japan vlog if you wanted to watch that. I would give this one I think maybe an A, because again, it is also about my personal experience, and I wasn't feeling very great in my cosplay. I felt like my wig made my head look very square. Like, I felt boxy. And obviously that is no fault of the convention, but this is just how I felt, you know, all the time. Okay, and then now back on track. Will be RakuCon, which is held in Manchester, and it's 2 days. A lot of people haven't really heard of RakuCon because it's in Manchester, and it is like, it has the vibes of a local con, but it's run very, very well, and I like the approach that they're having. I really, really enjoy going to RakuCon. Ducky and Hollis were creator guests, and then I tagged along as Ducky's plus one. The location is very, very great. It's at the Pendulum Hotel in Manchester, so it's very walkable from the train stations, or if you get the tram or the bus. It's a very, very great location. I love it. I know that they're looking at maybe moving somewhere else because they're getting a lot more attendees, but I really like the Pendulum Hotel. Literally, as I was editing that section, they announced they're moving, but it is closer to my bus stop, so I don't care, but come on, man. It was really, really chill, as always. I filmed some really good TikToks. One of them is my second most liked TikTok ever. I took a lot of photos for myself. I took photos of other people as Follow Your Tog. I was also house sitting for my auntie at the time, so the Saturday night was my first night at my auntie's, so I had a very strange first night. So I was a little bit stressed, like having to get ready at somebody else's house in the morning and then get the bus. But once I got there, like, the con is just so chill that I could just relax and have a good time. We also entered Asmodeus's JoJo quiz, and we came in third as the Unova Unks because me and Ducky were cosplaying Bianca and Hilda. I was Bianca and Ducky was Hilda, and it was really, really nice matching Ducky as Hilda and Bianca because they were my favourite duo growing up. I would probably give RakuCon an A. I had a really nice time, but again, there was a weird thing with my camera. Maybe an S. No, I'm changing my rating. I'm giving it an S. I love RakuCon. It's so cute, and it's so pink, and it's adorable, and I love it. And it gave me my award-winning 6,000 like TikTok. The next was my technical final convention of the year because I LobbyCon the next one. I can't stop rocking, I'm sorry. And this was Hyper Japan, and Hyper Japan gave me my first like proper creator pass where like I applied for it and got accepted. I was buzzing, like I cried, I can't lie. There was tears coming out my eyes. I texted my mum, like I was so hype that I got this creator pass. We stayed at a hotel directly across from Central, the Premier Inn, and it was so good. It was so nice. I really liked the layout of Hyper Japan for like all the stalls and stuff. I felt like it was really greatly spaced, and even though the stage was like basically where the AnimeCon stage was, just in a different building obviously, but you know, like location wise, like, things didn't feel too crowded. There were places to sit. The noise wasn't overwhelming. Like their volume balance was really, really good. Like you could still hear it from the back, but when you were stood up close, it wasn't too like overwhelming, overpowering, too loud. There were so many great performances on the stage. There was one time they played my favorite anime opening, which is the one from Horimiya. I don't know what the Japanese name is called, but in English I think it's called Color Perfume, and I love it. There were so many artists that I've never seen before. I bought so much. I think I spent like £300 on merchandise. Oh my god, some of the things that I bought that I loved the most were these little crochet One Piece characters, Corazon and Ace. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I also bought a Johnny that's like twice the size, but he's down there and I'm not getting up. And they had some like street food truck things. I didn't get anything because I'm weird with food, but my friends did, and they really, really enjoyed it, and it did actually smell fire. And the staff were really fast at cooking it because they had a massive queue, but like once my friends had paid, the food was actually made like rapid fast. And again, the Manchester location is really, really great. You can film TikToks there. It's great for photography. Of course, I brought my camera as Follow Your Tog. It did rain on the Saturday when I had my slots open, so we did have to go in the parking garage, but the shot still came out really, really good. I had a great time down there. I just felt bad that everybody had to walk all the way down there. Bailey also came. Bailey doesn't come to many conventions. It's just not really their thing, and it's expensive, and they don't really cosplay as much anymore. But I'm so grateful Bailey came. We saw them on the Saturday, and I love Bailey. They're so fun, and I am so grateful that they came. They took some pictures of me as Grell, and I can't wait to post them. And we were being silly, and like they took a couple of videos of me for TikTok as well. And we went to this like little My Melody backdrop, and we got some cute pictures over there. Asmodeus also hung out with us a couple of the days, so that was really fun because I don't really get to see him that often. And we were just talking about like Date Everything and JoJo's and stuff like that. It's a really good time seeing friends. And Hyper Japan felt like a very friend focused convention, because even though a lot of people I didn't know no, a lot of people I knew weren't going because like they were saving their money for MCM. The friends that did go, I did see them. Sorry, I just need to adjust. I did see them and I had a really good time with them. And if they do Hyper Japan Manchester again, I'm definitely going. Especially if they give me a crate pass again. I mean, especially if they give me a crate pass again. It was a bit expensive for what it was. Obviously I didn't pay to get in, and I know it sounds a bit biased because I did get a crate pass, but I am giving Hyper Japan an S. I had an amazing time. All my friends came. The hotel was great. Like the hotel location was great. I would say Hyper Japan was probably one of my favorite conventions of the year. I had a really good time. I forgot to do, I think that's S in sign. I set myself up for failure at the beginning. But yes, thank you so much for watching this silly little like convention wrapped video. I've had fun filming it, even though I'm really tired. It's currently, I can't see my clock. It's probably nearly midnight. I want to get my eyelashes off. I'm going to take them off with you guys. That wasn't even fully stuck on. Oh, look at the difference. Oh, fantastic. I'm so glad to get those off. I'm just gonna, I guess, plonk them on my laptop because I don't know where else to really put them. I don't know why I've done that. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for liking this video and subscribing, because you're gonna do that for me, aren't you? Thank you. And yeah, to all my subscribers, thank you for such an amazing 2025. Thank you for all the subscribers that I've gained so far. At the time of recording, I think I have 235. So it would be nice to hit 250 by the end of the year. And I hope that I have, because I think I really want to post this on like New Year's Eve or something, or like towards that kind of time, like before the end of the year anyway. Because obviously I can't really create content without people to watch it. So I am grateful to everybody who does watch. And I think that you should leave me a comment and tell me what your favourite convention of the year has been, if you have gone. And if you haven't gone, then what conventions do you want to attend in 2026? But yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all year. And I will see you in the next one next year in 2026. Goodbye.